All right, and we're back. So, according to Crow, in between kingdoms, there is Grim. Lots and lots of Grim. There's also small towns and like small villages that are there. And because people don't want to live in the major kingdoms. Got it. This clearly makes retrospecting a bit more enlightening, I guess you can call it, when we think about the previous episode in which they reach the town of, I forgot the name, names, um, in which John and his family would go out for vacation and camping, and the town has been decimated. And according to the guard, it was bandits. And based on this information, clearly, after the bandits were there, they left, and it's possible that also Grim attacked. Um, so that's probably what happened to that one particular town. Now, why are there bandits? That's a question I'm not quite sure. We can easily project that every human being, it's as if we were to take a look at it into our universe, we can easily project that human beings themselves, they have this potential to do evil, as well as they have the potential to do good. We have free choice. We have, the ability to choose what it is that we want to do or what path in life we want to take. Um, Perhaps they're driven by greed to ransack the town because they attacked the convoys between kingdoms, and they're probably just interested in personal gain. They're only out for themselves. They don't care about others. Um, so that could be something that drives bandits to raid towns. It's kind of messed up in a way because, you know, it's already hard for people to live based on the situation that this world of Remnant is facing constantly. And then added to that, you have the bad guys to come in and do their things. Now, my question is, Crow mentions that they're skilled fighters. Now, yes, you can self-train. Yeah, you can learn your own techniques and skills. But in situations like that, I think about John. John wanted to become a hunter, and he somehow made his way into Beacon. But John, he might have had a weapon, but he didn't really have any skill or technique. And also his aura wasn't activated, so to say. It was Pyrrha that activated his aura in a way. So this makes me wonder, where do these highly skilled fighters learn their abilities? Where do they learn how to master their techniques and whatnot? I mean, self-teaching can only take you so far, in my opinion. And I'm just trying to draw parallels here to compare for a better understanding with our world. Um, you look at a soldier and the training a soldier receives as far as, physical fitness, endurance, psychological training, mental training, uh, weapons training, personal combat training, self-defense, and you have a soldier. who's able to carry his own in whatever circumstance he might be facing. Of course, you have more specialized schools which focus on more uncommon survival techniques and skills and abilities. And then I think about, you know, I guess in our world, the common criminal, thugs. They employ fear, intimidation, and I mean, they employ those things to carry out their nefarious actions. But yeah, anybody can get a weapon. Let it be a knife, let it be a firearm, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, they can learn how to use it. But in my opinion, based on my experiences and dealings with other things, they're not as proficient using these things as the soldier who's been trained and practices and receives his indoctrination, so to say. The thug, he might learn his skills and techniques by surviving on the streets, so to say. And again, I'm talking about our world scenario to draw parallels and to help me better understand the world of Remnant. So you have your thug. He starts off small, gets a weapon to self-defend himself or to intimidate or whatever. And it's not like he has access. I mean, he might have access, but it's not common, or it could be. It's not fairly common. There we go. For you to see thugs go to shooting ranges, or you see them go to self-defense techniques or anything like that. So the thug, the criminal here in our world can only get so far, granted with time of being able to keep doing the things that he does. He's able to survive, he's able to keep evolving and learning and realize, wow, that was a close call. I almost got caught that time. Ooh, I almost died here. Or, oof, I got injured, but I recovered. Next time I should try doing this instead. And he develops his techniques that way. Um, in the end, though, if you were to face off a thug and a soldier, chances are the soldier has an advantage over your criminal. Now, this helps me better understand the situation because Crow mentions that these bandits, they wait until the village is at its weakest. When the hunters go out, when they've just been attacked and they're recovering and they're still injured, or when the defenses are not working, whatever the case may be. And it's not just one, it's a bunch of them. So they have strength in numbers, and they prey on, I guess, on the weak, or on the injured, or the people unable to properly defend themselves, just like criminals in our world, in a way. Um, so that gives me that perspective to draw a line with and kind of like create a relation to see how it is that it functions. They never stay there for long. They're always moving. But the question is, after they ransack, they have to have a place to store all their stolen goods, all the valuables, all the things that they just acquired. They have to have a a hideout, so to say. So that brings question as to where this hideout might be. Now, initial thoughts on that matter make me think that perhaps it is in the kingdom of Minstrel. I'm kidding, Mistral. Um, in the underworld. That's probably their main headquarter hiding place. But then again, probably not, because after you ransack a village in the continent of, I don't know, where Vale is, Saunus, Samnus, Samnus, Saunus, Samnus. Yeah. It's really unpractical for you to travel the continent, cross the sea, and go back to Mistral. So perhaps there's little bandit hideouts scattered around, similar to villages, but perhaps they're like little places where they keep where they hang out. Um, so that's that. Every map, every square inch or foot has been mapped out. Of course, there are places, according to him, in which people have gone in but never come back out. In other words, they died. And then he says, somewhere out there is where she is. Now, originally, I had thought that she was in this other dimension because there was two moons, the broken one on the reflection and the whole one in the background. So this apparently, and the tone and the color and the ambience was that of like another dimension. It felt for me at the time. But according to Crow, she's out there in the world of Remnant somewhere out there. Perhaps is in this particular place where people never come back out. So, hmm. So she's not in the shadow realm. She's not in this subdimension like I originally thought. Hmm. Okay. So that's what's in between kingdoms. Small towns, small villages, and a lot of grim. My question though is, does everybody at one point in time... Oh, I'm sorry. I completely skipped from the bandits. I finished the topic without putting out a point that I want to mention. The point that I want to mention is, do bandits have the same abilities as hunters? Because that's the parallel I was comparing. Soldiers have advantages over criminals because they have training, they have experience, execution, and indoctrination, and all these things. Bandits is just things they've picked up on their own, kind of like makeshift knowledge or first-hand experience in surviving. Now, I'm guessing that it's a similar situation in the world of Remnant, in which hunters and huntresses, they have the advantage because they have semblances, they have aura, they have teams, probably comrades that work together, and actually, if I really think about it, I remember there was mention of hunters that lose their way. Yeah, okay. So I can see where bandits could come from because you might have a disgruntled hunter, huntress that after they receive their training, they just do their own thing and then they start recruiting other people and then they start making then they have the ability to wake up the aura of others and then they can keep spreading it around. All right, so I have a I think they might be actually fairly even matched as far as skill and capacity for for combat. I think hunters and bandits might be almost quite there in probability of successful combat, so to say. Hunters might have a slight advantage, but it shouldn't be by much. It shouldn't be by much, excuse me, because because of the wayward hunters and huntresses that leave. So okay, all right, I'm answering my own questions. Um, I thought the difference was a fairly large gap in which aura and semblance, allow hunters and huntresses to completely outclass bandits. But if bandits count with the support of, rogue hunters and huntresses, then it might help close the gap a little bit. And that's probably why they wait for them to leave, because otherwise it would be an even match. And if the citizens, the stubborn citizens, raise up and rally up in arms, then the bandits definitely have the disadvantage as far as numbers go. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So that's that. Got it. Um, I'll leave it here. I'll leave it here, and then I'll move on to the next one. So, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate everything you do and all of your support. It is amazing. It really is. And thank you. I really mean it. Thank you. So, mouse on the button. Here we go. Until next time, take care, and bye-bye.
ふわふわふわふわふわふわりくるくるくるくるくるくる回るのふわふわふよふよふわふわりうるるくるくるふわふわ飛び出したの